everyone, this is Penny from Wacko Witch Astrology, and today I am here to tell you why I am envious of you, why I am jealous of you based on your astrological sign. In case you don't already know, you have a whole chart with every single sign of the zodiac in it and every single planet. If you want more information on that, check my link in the description below for how you can have your natal chart calculated. And you might want to watch your sun sign, your moon sign, rising sign, even like Venus and Psyche. Like Venus and Psyche will probably attract a lot of jealousy as well. But if you've ever had someone in your life who is really being mean to you and it doesn't make sense and you think that they might be jealous, this will help you understand things from their point of view. So I'm really gonna try to dig and look within and ask myself, like, what are some reasons that I'm envious of your sign? What are some things I see that would make me actually want to be more like your astrological sign? So we'll see what I come up with. I don't feel like I'm a particularly envious or jealous person, but at the same time, jealousy is a natural thing, and I think everyone has experienced it at some point. So I'm just gonna find that part of myself, find that kind of dark energy within where I have felt jealous at some point. Okay, so Aries. I am jealous of Aries because they are awesome business people. They always seem to have such great initiative. They get things going. They don't waste any time. They're usually very productive when it comes to pursuing their own endeavors and their own passions. Taurus. For Taurus, Taurus is just so much more laid back than I am. And with someone who has like a lot of Gemini energy and a lot of Virgo energy in my own chart, I feel like I wish I had more of that kind of relaxed nature that Taurus actually has, and that I wasn't so, quite frankly, neurotic all of the time. Now for Gemini. For Gemini, and really to some extent for all air signs, I feel like things come to them so much more easily than they do for me. I have a lot of earth in my chart, so I don't feel like things are usually that easy for me. Gemini is so good at picking up on new skills. And even people who've been studying for years and years might watch the Gemini and be like, dang, they just got that really fast, and feel like the Gemini must have cheated in some way. Like they didn't actually deserve what they got. So yeah, that's probably why Geminis attract a lot of jealousy and a lot of negative energy. Next we have Cancer. Okay, so Cancer men and Cancer women, honestly, I feel like they, to some extent, have this kind of like take care of me vibe. Like they activate people's nurturing instincts. So whether it's like their mom or their relationship partner or a potential relationship partner, it seems like a lot of people really want to take care of Cancers and coddle them. And I know if you are a Cancer, this might even be annoying at times. But to me, having a lot of Capricorn energy in my chart, and especially Moon in Capricorn, I look at that and I kind of feel like, why was no one ever that nice to me? Like, why did no one ever take care of me when I went through that? So yeah, that's my reason for being jealous of Cancer, if I am at all, which I guess I have some degree of jealousy towards everyone. Maybe. Anyway, moving on to Leo. So Leo is actually my sun sign. And I have to ask myself, why am I jealous of other Leos? Which shouldn't be too hard to answer, given that one of my older sister is actually a Leo. So we already had a Leo in the family by the time I came along. So I'm not even the original Leo. I'm like the secondary Leo, and that just doesn't feel as flattering, I guess, to be the second one to come in. I mean, Leo never wants to come second. So Leo does have like kind of a lot of competitive nature, whether they mean to or not. I feel like Leos have a habit of upstaging people, and they might even say like, snarky things to kind of one up you at times. Like if someone is talking about their achievements, the Leo might kind of be like, oh yeah, I did this thing, that thing, and the other thing. And it's like, okay, well, that person just kind of wanted to talk about themselves for a little while. So it doesn't always have to be about you, Leo. And I know this is a little bit more harsh than what I've said for other signs, but I'm just trying to keep it real because Leo does already attract a lot of jealousy. But then I think at the same time, Leo has a habit of stepping on other people's toes without really realizing it. Another reason people are jealous of Leo is oftentimes just our hair, just like really small things about like our appearance and the amount of attention that we attract. Virgo seems to just always have it together. And I don't think that's how the Virgos themselves feel. I think Virgos look at their own lives and think, oh, this is really messy. This is really rough. I have a lot of stuff to deal with. But then other people look at Virgo and it's like they have everything figured out. Like it always seems like stuff is easy for them, even though it really wasn't. And you don't really see the amount of effort they put into it. So Virgo likes to help people, and Virgo will make a habit of helping people, but then people at the same time also come to expect it. Like they just deserve the help of Virgo because Virgo has everything already figured out. Like everything's so easy for Virgo. So the Virgo is like totally obligated to come and help me and make my life easier. So I think people really get kind of jealous and controlling over Virgo because of that. Okay, next sign we have is Libra. So a lot of the Libras I know, like the Libras I've worked with and stuff, it seems like stuff just comes so much easier to them. Like sometimes they even feel like everything they touch just like instantly turns to gold. Like the other fitness instructors and stuff that I work with, they're good, popular instructors most of the time. And I've had a lot of insecurities, feeling like, oh, people might not like me. And I think Libras have those insecurities too, but they have just a better way of relating to people. So anything that deals with people, whether it's like advertising for something, getting people to show up for something, getting people interested in something, I've noticed Libra has a really great ability to do that. And if I've ever wanted to be a Libra, that is pretty much why. That charm and everything, being able to smooth everything over, being able to relate to people, all of that. So the next sign we have is Scorpio, and Scorpio is actually one of the most talked about signs. So I feel like people specifically in the astrology community are probably jealous of Scorpio, and a lot of people wish they were more Scorpio. Like, I'm a lunar Scorpio and you're a solar Scorpio, so I'm more Scorpio than you. And you'll literally see these arguments in astrology chats about like who's more Scorpio, who's more Plutonian, and people will be like, oh, even though I'm not a Scorpio, I'm very Plutonian. Like I have a lot of Pluto stuff going on in my chart. So I think people are jealous of Scorpio even just for being a Scorpio, for those of us who actually practice astrology. But what about for those of us who don't? So Scorpio has this kind of air of mystery around them, which is probably part of the reason why so many people like to learn about Scorpio when it comes to astrology. So they have this air of mystery that a lot of people don't really know much about them. A lot of people can't really figure them out. And there's always, I don't want to make a blanket statement and say every single Scorpio in the world is attractive, but I feel like there's at least something about them that is really enticing, that really draws people in and makes them want to know the Scorpio on a deeper level, that makes them physically attracted to the Scorpio. And Scorpio has more chemistry probably with more people than a lot of the other signs do. And it's funny because some Scorpios are super shy, super reclusive, and then some are really outgoing. But I think all of them still have that chemistry and that ability to not just make small talk, but that ability to really be able to penetrate into people's minds and get to know people on a deeper level. And that's something that's always exciting about Scorpio. When I was a kid, when I was like 12, I actually had a Scorpio friend who was super pretty, super popular, and was I jealous of her? Yeah, totally. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I really was jealous of her, and that's not easy to admit. Okay, so next sign is Sagittarius. Sagittarius, like whether they're male or female or non-binary, it just seems like they're that really cool guy, that really cool girl, that really cool them, who, like, they're not easy for everyone to relate to, but I think to some extent the fact that they just go out there and get what they want, Sagittarius to some extent does embody the person that we all wish we could be. Sagittarius embodies the idea of living the dream. So people are jealous of the experiences that Sagittarius has had. Sometimes people are even jealous of the possessions that Sagittarius owns. But even more than that is the fact that Sagittarius will pursue their dreams. If Sagittarius wants to go travel, they're going to go out there and do it. So a lot of people are jealous of that. A lot of people are also jealous of the hobbies that Sagittarius has pursued, because most people out there don't even make time for the things that they really care about. And life is just all about the grind and then trying to de-stress from after the grind. And for most people, that's just what life is, and that's what it's confined us to. And Sagittarius is one sign that is not really willing to accept that nonsense. And at the same time, I don't think hardly anyone really wants to accept that nonsense. Perhaps earth signs are the ones that have the easiest time with it, but even them, they have their hopes and their dreams and their things that they ultimately want to be able to attain. So Capricorn, people being jealous of Capricorn. So when I look at the Capricorn people I know, I think it's always pretty obvious and apparent that they have worked for everything that they have. I don't see anything like as coming super easily to them. There is the CEO of Amazon who is a Capricorn, and I think he might be like the Capricorn I know of who had, as far as I can tell, the easiest life experience. Now, I don't know anything about his childhood or his early life, but his story of creating Amazon was just kind of like, oh, I had this idea to sell books online, so I think he worked like in his basement, and he and a friend of his were like dishing out as many books as they could. So it was still this idea that started with really hard work there at the foundation, and eventually it did work up to something where he probably, at least I would expect, doesn't have to work anywhere near as hard now as he did when he first started his company. So I have seen like a lot of nasty posts specifically about him online, and how much money he has now. So people are definitely jealous of what he has acquired. And I know a lot of people feel that jealousy is perfectly justified because there's some imbalances of wealth in the world. But that's an opinion. I'm not trying to express my opinion on it. This is just an observation that a lot of people have been jealous of this specific Capricorn because of what he has acquired in life. So I do feel like that's ultimately one of the reasons why people do become jealous of Capricorn. Like their life has become more stable than mine. They have acquired more wealth than I have. And I think most people can recognize that usually with Capricorn, it comes from hard work. So I don't see as much jealousy being thrown at Capricorn, but when people are jealous of Capricorn, oh man, I'm sorry. I did ultimately resort to expressing an opinion, and I'm not trying to, but I feel like when people are jealous of Capricorn, it's because they themselves haven't put in the amount of hard work that they probably should have. Like, I really want everyone to be wealthy. I really want everyone to experience great prosperity in life. I do want to help people of all signs, like, make more money and accomplish their goals and all of that stuff. So hopefully there's no need for jealousy ever. Okay, sorry for the rant. I'm going to move on to Aquarius now. So for Aquarius, this is the final air sign of the zodiac. And I already said that with both Libra and Gemini, I kind of feel like everything seems like it comes really easily to them, and they just have a way with people. They have a way of picking up on new skills and getting people interested in what they're doing, getting people involved with what they're doing. And Aquarius really does kind of seem like a butterfly. Like, they are able to rise above everything that happens to them. They're able to rise from the ashes. They're able to float freely and be unrestrained from the other burdens that people face in life. But at the same time, I think that's an illusion. Aquarius is actually co-ruled by Saturn. So up until we discovered the planet Uranus, Aquarius was just ruled by Saturn. And Aquarius does feel all of this pressure, not just from their own world, from their own life and the people they know, but from everything that's happening in the world. Aquarius does find themselves accountable for what is going on in the world. Now, at the same time, I feel like they, since they're taking on all that outer pressure, they at the same time have to reject a little bit more of the inner pressure. Like oh, my husband expected me to be home at this specific time. Well, honestly, how dare he expect me to be home at this specific time, because other people had needs that needed to be met and there were other things that were going on. So whereas a lot of signs would be like, yes, I need to hold myself up to the things that I was expected to do, like within my relationship or within my personal friendship, Aquarius will usually reject that kind of confinement and live a life that at least appears to be more free. But I do feel like Aquarius still feels this strong sense of responsibility in other areas. So I feel like the majority of the jealousy that Aquarians face is based on people not actually understanding them and not actually understanding where their priorities lie. So it's that whole kind of like alien thing, like disconnect, like I can't even imagine what life is like for this person, what actually goes through their head on a daily basis. So yeah, I am kind of branding Aquarius as the special snowflake of the group. So last sign of the zodiac, we now have Pisces. What are people really jealous of when it comes to Pisces? This one I feel like should be obvious, but at the same time, it's not, because I don't hear people talk about it. I've been talking about it on Facebook and in my groups and on all of my social media, but I don't hear anyone else talk about it. They actually talk about the opposite end of that, where they complain about how emotional Pisces is. People complain about how sensitive Pisces is, and they don't actually ask themselves, why does this bother me? Why does it bother me that this person's so emotional? And for me personally, it came to a certain point where I had to ask myself that, because I am a lunar Capricorn. I hold back my emotions so much. I do that without even thinking about it. That is just my automatic. I'm not going to express my emotions. I'm not going to face my emotions. For the most part, I'm not going to deal with my emotions, because I have that level head where I pretend that I don't even have emotions, and I do that just so that I can keep functioning. That's why I do it. But Pisces, specifically a Pisces moon person, will break down and they will let themselves cry. And for most of them, it's almost like they have no filter for the tears at all. Like the tears are just gonna come. They just start bawling whenever something happens that it upsets them even just a little bit. And I think that's honestly the more natural thing to do. And everyone has that within them, where they want to be able to just break down. They want to be able to have that time where they're actually able to process things. And when we don't process things, it kind of creates this plug in our life where we become blocked. If we aren't actually able to face what we are feeling, if we're not actually able to talk about what we're feeling, it starts to block us. And then even though we were upset about this one little thing, it affects all these areas of our life. It affects every area of our life. We gain bitterness in our relationships, whether they be friendships or romantic relationships. We gain bitterness in our work, oh, I'm not getting the things that I deserve. And it's really just because we have something emotional that we weren't able to process yet. So our work is affected, our love life is affected, our family life is affected, our hobbies are sure as heck being affected by it as well. Now, there are Pisces out there, and I even know one, who have their moon sign in Capricorn. So if you're a Pisces and you're like, that doesn't sound like me, I seem like I have just as much trouble as my emotions as this Penny chick does. Well, maybe your moon sign is in Capricorn like mine is. Does Pisces actually have that ability to just wash it away and let it go? Even though I think that crying is healthy, I think that Pisces is very sensitive to what's happening around them and oftentimes more affected by what is happening around them. And sometimes it is hard for them to keep things cleansed in their life. But other people look at that and they don't really realize it. They don't really understand what is going on. So they might just be jealous about the fact that Pisces has more sympathy for themselves than most signs do, and is therefore getting more sympathy from other people than most signs do. So that is why people are jealous of Pisces. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so that you can see when I upload a video, and make sure you check the links in the description below so you can follow me on Facebook, so you can get your natal chart calculated on my website, and so that you can gain access to exclusive content on Patreon, and learn more about Venus and Mars and how it affects our romantic lives and our relationships. So I will see you again soon. Bye.